A lot of people have been saying that the hip-hop culture isn't the same anymore. I've even noticed that myself, that a lot of the songs nowadays have silly, pointless lyrics. They dumb down the listener, and the only thing that attracts people is the catchy tune, the beat, the chorus, and the hooks. A lot of these songs don't even have any real lyrical value, but they are pretty catchy. I've been wondering myself, when did hip-hop change? Is it dead? Is it on a hiatus? What's going on with hip-hop? What is the state of hip-hop? I interviewed a couple of people and put together some things for viewers like myself that are wondering whatever happened to hip-hop, that missed the old days of hip-hop, or even younger people that have no idea about the history of hip-hop and where it came from, and even how it changed, how it transitioned from hip-hop to a money-making business called rap. I interviewed a guy named Rico, local Kansas City musician, if you will. He's an artist. He dibbles and dabbles in music, actually has a couple of CDs out himself. And I asked him his opinions on hip-hop, the state of hip-hop. We had an in-depth conversation about, is hip-hop dead? And if it isn't, where is it? Is it reinventing itself? Is it just going into another direction? Here's what Rico had to say.
I mean, you would have to compare it to a culture. I mean, it's a group of people. So I mean, to kill something, you have to kill off the whole people. You know, so as long as the people who is creating the music, the art, the clothing, as long as those people are around, hip hop always gonna be alive. Now the music very well may be going under.
It's hard to argue whether or not hip-hop has gone under or is going to go under anytime soon. But it is safe to say that the hip-hop culture has changed tremendously over the last 25 years up until now. Hip-hop started off and consisted of 4 elements: rap, graffiti, breakdancing, and the disc jockey, also known as DJing. When hip-hop first came on the scene, it was a total different sound of what people are familiar with now. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 were the first group to pop on the scene with hip-hop, which sounded a little like this.
It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under. It's like a jungle sometimes. It makes me wonder how I keep from going under.
Broken glass everywhere. People on the stage, you know they just don't care. I can't take the smell, can't take the noise. Got no money to move out, I guess I got no choice. Rats in the front room, roaches in the back, junkies in the alley with the baseball bat. I tried to get away, but I couldn't get far, cause a man with a tow truck repossessed my car.
From Grandmaster Flash in the late 70s to Run DMC in the early 80s to mid 80s as well, it was a different sound that they brought to hip-hop. From Run DMC to Public Enemy to Rakim, Ice Cube, the whole West Coast, East Coast, now the South. Although there's been plenty of hip-hop beefs, we're not even going to get into that. But music itself has went from the East Coast to the West Coast, to down south, and that's just here in the United States as far as what we're listening to. The hip-hop culture is bigger than what we can even imagine. It's everywhere. Music, like any other type of music, touch people everywhere. But hip-hop is a culture that you breathe, eat, and sleep. And over the years, it has changed dramatically, from partying to politics to what some may call gangster rap, which was really just telling everyday stories of what was going on in the neighborhood, in their neighborhood. Because at the time, they weren't rich, famous, or anything like that. They were just a regular person living in poverty-stricken neighborhoods most of the time and telling stories over beats about what happened in their neighborhood, whether it had to do with drugs, violence, police, politics. But once it got out into the community and everyone started to get a hold of it and realize, oh yeah, this is what's going on around us as well, the FBI began to pay attention and keep tabs on rap groups because of what was being said in their music and what was actually happening on the streets, and what people seen on the news were two of the same things. Of course, the question came in, is life imitating art, or is art imitating life? Different people have different answers for that.
I don't want to blame it all on the powers that be, but violence sells, and the power knows that. And when the brothers was, going up into the record labels, looking for deals, record deals, if you're not killing somebody, if you're not selling a kid coke, if you ain't got one of the prettiest cars in the hood and the biggest chains and some of the flyest chicks, they don't want to hear it. So the little kids was going back home and then like, oh, okay, coming back up there, and it's the same little kid that came in a week ago talking about, something that may have been okay to listen to. A week later, he a killer. So it's like, the powers that be coerce a lot of it, but now we starting to feed into it to the point where, it's almost, the point of no return, man. The conscious level in the hood is kind of low right now because of that. The majority rules. If the majority is talking blue, and somebody else, come out talking gray, it's hard for that person to get, people to see that color because there's so much blue out there, you know what I mean? So, if we can put a balance back in it, man, the consumers got to understand that, it's their choice first. And they the ones that, make or break what we do. So, support what you believe in. And hopefully, like I said, the majority rules if,
before I wake, I put an extended clip inside of my AK. Roll at every station, murder the DJ. Roll at every station, murder the DJ. If hip-hop should die before I wake, I put an extended clip inside of my AK. Roll at every station, murder the DJ. Roll at every station, murder the DJ.
I just died this morning and she's dead. She's dead.
Yeah.
With that being said, hip-hop is something that is just evolving. Right now, it's in the state to where it's not about the fun anymore or about getting a message across. It's more about partying, having fun, which is really what hip-hop was about when it first came out. Those were the in-between mixes of hip-hop. You had Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and they were just speaking about regular everyday things. whether it was a party up the block, something in the neighborhood. And in between that time and when Run DMC hit the scene, it was a lot of partying in between. Run DMC, they were MCs, masters of the ceremony, hip-hop artists as well. And they had some little party stuff because, hey, hip-hop did come from breakdancing in the neighborhood, kids dancing. It wasn't just about gangs and violence. To get away from that, people danced, people went to the park, people partied and had a good time. But then when drugs started coming into the community heavily, people's lives changed, and so did the music. Now, instead of giving a message about what's going on in the community, how drugs are harmful, the way they're hurting our community, it's now glorified in the music. So by music and everyone loving music, whether it's hip hop or another type of music, music has a huge influence on some people's lives. So when this famous star is in their music speaking about drugs and guns and violence, not in a way to inform us about what's going on and to keep us from doing it, but to tell us how fun it is and to encourage us to, hey, try it, it's turned hip-hop into something that a lot of people don't want to see. There's no message in the music anymore. And that's a big disappointment. Now, there are artists, and there still is music out here that is considered hip-hop, lyrical content, but that's not what you're going to get played to you every hour on your radio station. They may never get airplay on a big radio station because it's all about the bang and the buck right now. So if you're looking for some hip-hop music, some lyrical hip-hop music, you would have to find that on your own. Don't turn on the radio. Don't turn on the radio because you will not find hip-hop music on the radio.